Listen carefully. You need to know exactly who is talking to you. I am a Desert Storm veteran. I am an Afghanistan veteran. I served as a flight medic with the 160 Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers. I have treated casualties on the floors of Blackhawks. I have treated casualties in the dirt, under enemy fire, and in conditions most people couldn't survive for 10 minutes. I have held warriors as they took their last breath. And for nearly 2 decades as a family nurse practitioner, I have treated the same life and death emergencies civilians face every single day. I am not teaching theory. I am teaching what I learned while men were dying in my hands. Now burn the next part into your skull. Somewhere tonight, a father is kneeling on a cold kitchen floor, zipping his dead child into a black bag. Not because he didn't love her, not because he didn't try, but because he made one of the 7 mistakes I'm about to show you. I have been the man holding a dying warrior as his body went cold under my hands. I have seen the price of ignorance, and I refuse to watch you pay it. Stay with me. What kills the most people hasn't even appeared yet. People imagine collapse as chaos, explosions, and gunfire. It's quieter. Collapse looks like a mother screaming because her child's airway closed. Collapse looks like a man bleeding out in his driveway because the gear he needed was 10 feet away, unopened and unused. Collapse looks like hypothermia whispering, "Lie down," while the wind strips your will to move. The world doesn't need a catastrophe to kill you. Your mistakes will do it for you. These are the 7 mistakes that take the most lives, and the most dangerous one is still ahead.
Come on. 3 left, 2 right, damn it. Just hold on, I'm right here. It's fine. One more time, please. Yes!
Mistake 1. Waiting until the blood is on the ceiling. I watched a grown man try to open a tourniquet while his hands shook so badly he could barely grip the package. He couldn't focus. He couldn't think. He couldn't act. And his son was fading right in front of him. People freeze in moments like that, not because they are weak, but because their brain has nothing to fall back on. You do not rise to the occasion. You fall to the lowest level of your training. If your training is one video you watched months ago, you are already too late.
Same on you. Strap, tight. Windlass, 2 turns. Clip, tuck. You're set. Pressure's gone? Good. Hold it there. Nice work.
Put a tourniquet on your own leg. Time yourself. Get under 15 seconds. Then do it in the rain. Then do it with shaking hands. Then do it on the people you love so they know exactly what real pressure feels like when it matters. 90 seconds. That is all anyone gets. And if your gear fails or your training fails or your nerves fail, the outcome is always the same. Get equipment you trust. Learn it. Practice it. Own it. Mistake 2. False redundancy. People repeat, 2 is 1, 1 is none, like a prayer, but they never test anything. I break every filter, stove, and knife I own before I trust it. I once treated a man dying from dysentery because all 6 of his backup filters clogged in the same hour. He didn't have redundancy. He had 6 identical points of failure. Test your backups, force them to fail, know how they fail. Most people think gear is the problem. It isn't. The next mistake destroys entire households, quietly.
Come on. Come on. Nothing. Damn it. Please. No. All 3. All 3 are dead. Okay. Breathe. Just breathe.
Test your backups. Force them to fail. Learn exactly how they fail. Most people think gear is the problem. It isn't. The next mistake destroys entire households quietly.
This is the bargain filter people toss in their packs. It takes almost nothing to split the housing. Same with this stove. 1 bump and it's done. Now the backup I trust. Solid body, good seal, steady flow. If your gear fails out here, you go thirsty. This one won't.
A lot of you brothers and sisters fight the same 2 a.m. demons I do. If you need something to shut the noise in your head down and actually sleep, go subscribe to my other channel, Resilient Acoustics. 10-hour rain, low-frequency brown noise, and tracks designed by guys who've been there. Link in the description. It's free and it works. Mistake 3. Putting everything in one place. If everything your family needs is in one room, one bag, or one box, you didn't build a survival system. You built a grave marker. I've watched thousands of dollars of perfect medical gear melt into plastic soup while a father screamed for his daughter. I've seen floods carry entire prep rooms downstream. Everything they depended on, gone in minutes. You cannot trust a single location. You cannot trust a single container. You cannot trust that your home will still be standing when you need it most. Everything in my home is duplicated or triplicated and spread out on purpose. An ankle rig, the truck door, a jacket pocket, the spare tire well, the coat closet, the kitchen drawer, the bathroom cabinet. And I keep a trauma loadout hidden outside my main perimeter, completely separate from the house. If my home burns, if it floods, if it gets robbed, I am still in the fight. This mistake kills people quietly because it feels organized right up until the moment it fails. Test your backups. Force them to fail. Learn exactly how they fail. Most people think gear is the problem. It isn't. The next mistake destroys entire households quietly. If you're serious about being ready for whatever hits next, get over to my main channel, Suburban Prepper, right now. Real-world gear, no bullshit, no sponsorships from companies that don't even make the stuff they sell. Hit subscribe and turn notifications on. I drop new videos every week that could save your ass one day. Mistake 4. Underestimating the cold. Everyone fears intruders. Almost nobody respects the cold. I have held heavily armed warriors, men who survived firefights, men who survived explosions, who froze to death before they ever reached safety. Hypothermia does not roar. It seduces. It makes you feel warm. It makes you feel comfortable. It makes you want to lie down and close your eyes. Stage 1. Uncontrollable shivering. Stage 2. Fumbling hands, confusion, the brain slipping out of gear. Stage 3, apathy, collapse, and silence. The cold has taken more prepared people than every intruder combined. I've raised core temperatures in storms with nothing more than trash bags, mylar blankets, pine boughs, and hot rocks. I practiced it when it hurt. I practiced it when everyone else stayed home. I practiced it because the cold does not care how tough you think you are. Your rifle means nothing when your fingers no longer work. If you don't know what actually protects your family from hypothermia, learn it now, because the cold will not give you a second chance.
Hang in there, we're sealing you up now. This bag keeps the wind off you. All right, mylar next. Reflects your heat back. Pine boughs for insulation. Warm rock right on the core. Good, you're staying with me. Just keep breathing.
Real quick, hit pause right now. Look around wherever you're sitting. If you took a round or a piece of shrapnel right this second, how fast could you get a tourniquet on with your weak hand? 10 seconds, 30, a minute? Be honest and drop your time in the comments. I read every single one. Mistake 5. Locking away the gear that saves lives. Guns can live behind locks. Ammunition can live behind locks. Trauma gear cannot. I walked into a home once where a husband was spinning the dial on a safe while his wife was fading 6 feet away. He knew the code. He'd opened that safe 100 times before, but not under pressure, not with shaking hands, not with seconds slipping away. If your plan starts with, "Hold on, let me unlock it," you already lost the fight.
Come on. 3 left, 2 right, damn it. Just hold on, Em. I'm right here. It's fine. One more time, please. Yes!
Everything that stops death in the first minute lives where my 8-year-old can reach it in complete darkness. No keys, no codes, no delay. Because when someone you love is on the floor, you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to whatever level of access you built into your home. Put your trauma gear where it can be reached instantly. Train your family to find it. Build a house that is ready even when you're not. Mistake 6. Training only when it's comfortable. Skill disappears the moment you add cold, rain, darkness, hunger, or fear. Starting a fire in your living room is easy. Starting one in an ice storm with soaked gloves and shaking hands is something else entirely. Tourniquets feel simple in a classroom. Try tightening one when your fingers are numb and the wind is cutting straight through you. Chest seals work great on a mannequin. They do not stick as easily when sleet is hitting your face and everything is working against you. If you only train when it's perfect, you won't perform when it's real.
Damn it! Stay with it! Just light! Please!
Real training happens when you're cold, wet, exhausted, and fed up, because that is exactly when mistakes happen. If you cannot do the skill when everything around you is fighting back, you cannot do it when someone's life depends on it. Train in discomfort. Train in weather. Train when you don't want to. Because the day you need those skills, you won't get to choose the conditions.
Pull through. Tight. Twist. Keep going. Locked. Seal open. Press it flat. Valve clear. Good.
Pause the video. Think about the last time you hugged your kid, your wife, your mom, whoever matters most. If that was the last time you ever got to do it, would they know without a doubt that you love them? Drop a single word in the comments, yes or no. Mistake 7. Believing your family knows the plan. Your wife is not psychic. Your children are not soldiers. Your family cannot read your mind during a crisis. The first time we ran a blackout drill, it was chaos. No lights. No warning. Everyone panicked. People grabbed the wrong bags. Nobody knew the rally point. Some froze. Some yelled. Everyone hesitated. That hesitation costs lives. If you think your family knows the plan just because you talked about it once, you are setting them up to fail when it matters most.
Did it just, what happened?
Power's out. Hold on. Where's the flashlight?
Kids, stay right there.
Mom? I'm getting it. Wait, no, that's the remote.
I got a bag. Is this, oh, it's full of cleats. Never mind.
Come on, work. Oh, dead.
Lantern, hang on. There, okay.
It's so dark outside. I know, just stay close to us.
We drill in my home until the plan becomes automatic. Blackout, fire, medical, active threat, hypothermia, comms down. No guessing, no hesitation, no confusion. Your family will perform exactly the way they train. If you never train them under stress, they will freeze and die like unprepared civilians. Build a plan, drill the plan, test the plan until everyone in your house moves with purpose. That is how you keep them alive when the world breaks.
On the light.
Bag's ready, let's move.
Rally point, same as drill.
Copy.
Everyone good?
We're good.
Ready.
This is survival. This is resilience. This is Suburban Prepper.